Good morning and welcome to Queen Creek, Arizona. Today we're going to take a long drive around one of the fastest growing cities in America. To give you a sense of where this place is, it's about 32 miles southeast of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. It is just below Mesa on a map, and it's just off the 202. So we're going to start out just a little northwest of the main shopping district known as the QC. I want to show you the neighborhoods, as you can see on the left-hand side just over the train tracks. Some of this open space is definitely going to become houses, as you can see on the right. Then we'll head down to the QC. We'll drive down to Schnim Farms, which is one of the agrotainment, I think is the term, centers for the area, and it's a very popular tourist destination. We will then head out into the newer areas of Queen Creek, the wide open spaces of the desert that are being converted to subdivisions. We'll come back in through some of the newest neighborhoods that are being built, and we'll finish up back in the heart of Queen Creek. We can just get a sense of the business, how things are responding in May 2021. My intention today was really to show you the main arteries and a sense of the community. So if you guys feel like you have any neighborhoods you really want to dig into, leave it in the comments below. I'll grab the camera and we'll head that way. Let's do some fun facts about Queen Creek. Queen Creek's current population is 43,129 people, according to the last census. That is up from 23,000 people just 5 years earlier. Let's talk real estate. The median home value of the houses that we're passing on the right is $348,600. That's against a national average of $217,500. The median rent in this area, so what you could get right for the median rent, is about $1,590. Now, in relation to the national average of $1,000 a month for rent, this is a little more expensive, but if you compare it to the broader Phoenix market, that's really where you get some traction and you realize why people move out here. Big homes, lots of land, relatively cheap prices, and good schools, good quality of life. It's known as a rural area, and in fact, it's not really a city as much as it is right now a town. And its history does not go back that far as a town. So it's kind of interesting. There was a couple videos. If you were to Google Queen Creek, Arizona, I've got to find the link, but maybe I'll put it in the comments below. There's a really good video around the history of Queen Creek. If you're looking to move out to the area, it definitely connects you with the history and the quaintness of this once sort of farming community rail spur just off the train tracks that are running along our left, and how that farm turned into multiple farms, which then turned into what we're seeing today. I mean, can you imagine? This was all farmland, and we're talking, not 50, 70 years ago. This was like 91. This was farmland. So this is rated the 10th best suburb to raise a family in Arizona. It's the 15th best overall suburb in Arizona. It's the 18th best if you're looking for public schools, and I have to say Queen Creek High School is rated as one of the better high schools in the state. Another fun fact is the median household income for this area is $105,729. And that's why you see so much new growth, so much new retail for passing on the right-hand side, and so many new houses, because this is a relatively affluent suburb. It's also a retirement destination, and that's what I'm excited about as we continue down Rittenhouse here. We are heading out towards Schnim Farms, and that's an area where a lot of retirees are moving in. It also leads out to another area which we won't explore so much today, but I'm probably going to be doing a video before too long, known as Santan Valley. That is one of the least expensive areas to live in the entire Southeast Valley, so you still get the quality of life there. So let me know in the comments below if you think Santan Valley would be a fun drive. I'll take a look, and maybe we'll head that way. But I digress. We're getting into the heart of Queen Creek now, just on the right-hand side. As you've seen, we've passed a Target, we've passed a Home Goods, Sprouts. Now we're moving into Walmart, Petco, and then a lot of small brands or restaurants and bars. There's a couple of chains in here. I know we have Kneaders. I'm just passing on the right-hand side. That's a place I love. I think when I'm in the area, I like to get lunch there, so maybe I'm going to stop in there. I'll take you guys with me to that drive-thru, but we are really getting into the heart of it now. On the right is that retail we mentioned, but on the left is a medical center that houses all sorts of doctors and dentists. Anything you might need, you can find in there. And that's one of the things that people love about moving out to Arizona. It's probably driven by the snowbirds and some of the seniors who move into the area, but the medical care out here is really top-notch no matter where you go. As we continue south, you'll see that the retail and the medical sort of turns itself into houses. So we're back into some of the older core neighborhoods and subdivisions that make up Queen Creek. If you've watched some of my videos, you know I'm not a realtor or anything, but I do love houses and growth, and I just love to explore. And I think as I was looking online, I saw on the right-hand side a lot of these neighborhoods were built in the early 2000s. So you're looking at 2000 to 2005, maybe up to 2009 as we get a little further down. On the left-hand side there, over the train tracks that are always present, you can really, the train tracks are a central component to Queen Creek's history and it's, the town itself. But those rooftops are more affordable homes, such as Meridian and Richmond American, and that's also where the high school is. So if you were to turn right in here, it would take you through some of the core neighborhoods. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. On the right-hand side there, looks like there might have been a fire. That's interesting. Yeah, it looks like that. You see that on the right? It's burned out. It's crazy. So yeah, Village Loop will take you back into the core neighborhoods, and then here, you have sort of the subdivisions that make up the town itself, and then across the train tracks over there is where all the open space is. There's a golf course on the right-hand side, and then there are some retirement communities we're going to get closer to. We'll then move through some of the larger home subdivisions that were originally built on big lots. And then we're going to pop out on, as I mentioned, on Schnim Farms. And you'll know we're getting close to that when you see the Ferris wheel off in the distance. There's a running joke in Arizona that this time of year brings out the state flower, which is the construction cone. If you look up ahead, you'll see we're going to get into some road widening area here, which it needed it because, believe it or not, just 4 or 5 years ago, last time we came through the area, this was 2 lanes. So imagine all the traffic we're seeing right now running north and south on a 2-lane road. That was the case. But what we're seeing too is they continue to have to come back and fix things and, repave, and that's what's going on the right. It's all about water. And it's all about growth, right? So adding new piping for the water to come off the canals, adding new sewage, fixing roads. It's just a constant thing that goes on. As much as we all complain about the construction going on everywhere, it's true that this area does a very nice job of staying ahead of growth. And so we are heading straight into the heart of one of the faster growing areas of Queen Creek. And it's nice to see that they are ahead of the curve, getting these roads widened just in time for the traffic. I don't know about you guys, but we can all think of that town that maybe didn't plan so good, and the growth came, and then the roads were super congested. That's just not the situation here. They are definitely planning. Look at those guys working so hard. No matter where you go, you're going to see scenes like this on the right-hand side. But I think that traffic on the left-hand side tells you why. Coming up on the right-hand side are some of the nicer homes in the central area of the town of Queen Creek. These houses are built in the mid-2000s, so you're talking about 2009 to 2013, and they're on big lots. And they're very close to what's just coming over the horizon there. See that Ferris wheel? That is Schnim Farms. Known as an agri-tainment area locally. It's pretty big, and it's got U-Pick gardens. It does events throughout the year. to bring families together and kids together. You can see the Ferris wheel there. It's got a bit of a carnival atmosphere, but at the same time, they do a really nice job of incorporating lots of different events. So the farm to table, the U-Pick, they work peaches, and they even have a glamping center in there. Glamping is, if you don't know, it's camping, but it's glamorous camping. So they have the Airstreams that sort of circle around in part of the park over there, and you can stay in them. It's pretty cool. Check it out, schnimfarms.com. Not sponsored, but it's definitely a local draw, and a lot of the folks who live in this area rave about the seasonal events. Getting out into open space here now, and you'll start to see the Santan Mountains, the ever-present mountain range that always sort of hovers over the top of all of the cities in the Southeast Valley. I've got some good videos driving through Santan as well as a hike. I'll put the links in the comments below, but we're going to actually go in a different direction. If we were to stay straight, we'd go to Santan Valley, one of the faster growing areas in Pinal County and one of the more affordable places to live in the Valley of the Sun. But I'm going to head left here because this area over here is near the Olive Mill, which is another very popular place to come to on the left right there. And we're going to head out to some of the new growth in areas that have just recently been annexed by Queen Creek and are starting to become part of the larger town. Let's keep the agritainment theme going. On the left is the Olive Mill, Queen Creek Olive Mill. And this is a very popular local attraction that you'd be surprised how many people know about it or have been here when they've traveled through the area. It's an area you can go, you can have some fun with olives. They've got a restaurant, they've got a bakery, they've also got a shop in there, and a heavy emphasis on health and beauty with olive-based products. And I believe that they've even scaled their brand out now to where they're online. You can check it out. It's queencreekolivemill.com. Again, not sponsored. It's just kind of cool to see these businesses grow over time and become so successful, especially with everything that's been going on over the last year. So you can see more construction, more housing on the right, lots of growth on the left. As I mentioned, open space equals opportunity in this neck of the woods, and if you have enough water, you can make it work, and that's what you're seeing. Everywhere there's open space, they're building right now. One of the things that's driving this growth is, as I mentioned earlier, it's affordability, but it's also primarily Californians moving out of their state and moving out this direction. They sell their properties over there for anywhere upwards $600,000 to millions of dollars, and then they can come out here and they can buy a very large property, a very large home in a really nice neighborhood with great weather and great roads and great schools, and pay $300,000 to $500,000. So we continue to see that as the major engine behind all of the growth all over Phoenix and Arizona. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But right now, you can see that there's still some charm left. Open spaces. On the left, there's a view of the Superstition Mountains. You can just peekaboo catch it on the left-hand side while you're driving past major chains, grocery stores, and some restaurants in there. So that's the charm of this area. It's really where the agriculture overlaps with the growth, and it creates a sense of a connection with the small town feel. And as you guys know, if you've watched my videos, the unexpected always seems to happen, and that's just what went down. The camera had some problems, so I had to pull off to the side and get my act together. But on we go, heading in Ocotillo Road, and you can see now this is just 3 lanes. So it's one going this direction, one going that direction, and a turn lane. Kind of gives you a sense of what I was talking about earlier. Lots of traffic on these roads, and if they're not built out, it can really sort of back us up. We're heading west, so coming in from what would be considered the Santan Valley, getting back into Queen Creek. And my goal for this is to show you guys that even though we are quite a ways away from the area of downtown, you see all these wonderful houses and subdivisions on the right-hand side, while you still have ranches and ranchettes on the left. Coming into an area known as Meridian. these houses on the right are brand new. And just behind the storage on the left, there's an actual neighborhood that's being built in there, very, very large, known as Meridian. Prides itself on quality of life. Lots of different parks. As I mentioned earlier, there's an auditorium in there. There's a church, water park. It just really prides itself on having it all, and it's one of the more popular neighborhoods for people to move in new. They have slowed down building because the demand for houses has actually outstripped the supply, but if you Google it, if you're looking in this area, this is something I hear all the time. This particular spot right here on the corner of Ocotillo and Meridian is a very, very hot neighborhood to be in. Let's get around this Red Bull truck finally. On the left-hand side here is the Richmond American homes I mentioned earlier, but these ones were actually built in the 2011 range. And then just off in the distance on the left, you will see Queen Creek High School come into view. Fun fact about Queen Creek High School is it's actually rated an A, or some sites give it a B+, depending on what year you're looking at, but it is a top-rated school for sure. And if you're a parent, or if you have parents, and you're looking to move into the area, the other thing I would really like about it that it says is kids go to college from this school. So coming out of Queen Creek High School, you have kids who are primarily going to Arizona State, the University of Arizona in Tucson, or even Northern Arizona in Flagstaff. I actually think it'd be fun. I'm looking to get out there to both of those places, to Tucson and Flagstaff. In the comments below, if you think it'd be kind of cool to take a trip to Flagstaff and do some driving and get some scenic drives there, or Tucson, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll look for that. And then, as usual, if you guys are into it, I'll grab the camera and we'll head that way. These nice neighborhoods on both the right and left of where we are right now are going to start to open up a little bit. And we're heading back towards the train tracks. So when you go back and look at that map of that figure 8, we're just about to cross over our original route. The train tracks are up ahead, and then we'll be right back in the heart of the town of Queen Creek. If you've watched my videos or know anything about the Valley of the Sun, you know it's built on a grid pattern for the most part. And the road we're on, Ocotillo, is one of those examples of a street that will go out to the extreme eastern side of the valley and come back in maybe 30 miles across the valley, cutting Queen Creek, in this case, right in half. The train tracks are coming up, and it's really the main artery, Ocotillo, and then you have Rittenhouse and Ellsworth. All of this sort of loops around each other, and that's where all the businesses are. Those train tracks we just crossed are very active. You can get trains that are a couple of miles long coming through here at speeds anywhere from 45 to 65 miles an hour. So it's really a hub of activity in here. And right up ahead is where we were about the 5th minute into the video. So we're going to head straight through this intersection now. And if you were with me in the beginning, or if you remember, I talked about a place called Neater's. That is one of my favorite restaurants. So I'm going to pop in here real fast, and we're going to get a little sandwich. So with lunch in hand, we're going to continue the tour here of Queen Creek, heading west on Ocotillo. We are on the south side of the Walmart, Staples, and Petco Center that we drove past early in the video, and we're cutting back across through the downtown. Up on the left here, you'll see the Ellsworth Brewing Company, which is actually a restaurant. I want to get up here. I want to check this restaurant out. If any of you guys have ever been to the Ellsworth Brewing Company, it just seems like a cool restaurant to stop by. It's coming up here on the left-hand side in the corner. Let me know in the comments below if you have been there. A lot of these restaurants on the right are relatively new, and the further we go down Ocotillo, the more we're going to see newer and newer chains popping up. Up on the right here, just past the town center sign, is Picket Post Square, which constitutes sort of the downtown area, if you will, kind of the center of it. Another fun fact is the two houses you see on the right-hand side, kind of older, smaller, little ranchette-style houses, they currently sit on this giant vacant lot that is just waiting to be built out. Each of these houses is currently for sale. The price tag on the one we just passed is $500,000, and this one here, $750,000 for that house. It has been for sale now for over 3 years and has yet to have any offers. Turning right onto Ellsworth now and heading north into what is known as the QC shopping district. You can see the tall sort of buildings on the left-hand side out there. That would be the Target Center, where you can find any shopping that you would find in any large city. On the right-hand side, there's the parking lot for the library, and then in the distance, you see the new hotel. The tall, very off in the distance there, the tallest building is actually a hotel that it was just recently built in the center of Queen Creek. As I mentioned, it's growing like crazy, and this business and this shopping, all of the hotels, everything I mentioned, it's all an indication that the growth is just not going to slow down. As we get into the heart of the shopping district, something just came to my mind, which is, hey, if you have questions about Queen Creek or any of the other videos on my channel, please go ahead and leave a comment below. I love responding to your guys' comments. I love liking them, giving them thumbs up, and pinning them to the top. It gives me an opportunity to answer any questions you guys might have about these drives, the places we're going. I also think it's kind of cool because it gives me a chance to learn about some of these towns all over the greater Phoenix metro area. And if you haven't had a chance yet to check out the other videos on my channel, please do. I have one from Queen Creek from early spring, and you can see as things have opened up here in 2021, the traffic is just getting busier and busier. So we'll head north on Rittenhouse, back up towards a street called Hawes. We're going to turn left. It's essentially behind the Target Center that's on our left. Go up a ways here, about a mile, and we're going to take a left on Hawes. We're going to dip into some neighborhoods that are a little more established, but are definitely popular with folks looking to move into the area. These neighborhoods would represent almost border neighborhoods between the really high-end, famous town of Gilbert, Arizona, and Queen Creek. So here's Hawes, and we're going to head left. With the train tracks on our right, what's going to come across the front of us is the Emperor Estates. These houses were built in the early to mid 2000s. Very large. You can get anywhere up to 3,500, 3,600 square feet. Ooh, something's going on the right there. I hope you can see all of the open space and the views that you get in this area. That really allows for the views as well. There's the Santan Mountains popping up in front of us, just on the right-hand side of the screen, always looming over anywhere you're going in the Southeast Valley. Let's take a right here on Queen Creek Road, and now we're heading west into Emperor Estates on the right-hand side. What I like about these areas too, in doing a little research, I discovered that we're only a mile away from the border of Gilbert, Arizona, and these houses and neighborhoods actually have a Queen Creek price tag. So you know how some neighborhoods will have, just because it's across the street, it'll be in a different market. This market we're in right now is a much lower price point than the Gilbert, Arizona market, which is just a mile up the road. So that's interesting if you're looking for houses. And remember, if you are a parent, Arizona is an open state, so if you would like to take your child to a school outside of your immediate area, you can, which means you can enjoy some of the best schools in the Gilbert area while living just a mile away from its border. And again, not a realtor, just a guy with a search engine who's interested in those type of things. So forgive me if I ramble, but I do really enjoy this neighborhood. You can see these big, beautiful houses on the right, and then there's that gated community on the left. There's the park that opens up to the Queen Creek Wash. I think one time I'm gonna come out here and maybe I'll take a walk or a bike ride down the Queen Creek Wash and bring the camera along. That'd be kind of cool. Be able to check it out. It's very popular. It's about 3.5 miles of running and walking trails. That's right behind that fire department on the left-hand side as we pull up to Sossaman and Queen Creek. Half a mile to go. On the left, you'll start to see a really nice neighborhood that opens up to the Queen Creek Wash. Some of those houses actually have a view of the Santan Mountains and the wash itself. Love seeing the Sonoran gold mesquites in bloom this time of year. On the right-hand side, we have brand new neighborhoods being built around the greater Cortina area, if you're looking. It's known as Cortina. And we're continuing to head west towards Gilbert. So that'll wrap us up for the long tour around Queen Creek. We went down through the heart of town, all the way out to Schnim Farms, wrapped back around to one of the fastest growing areas and most affordable areas in the valley, finishing up in the neighborhoods around western Queen Creek. If you haven't had an opportunity yet, please subscribe to the channel. Click the like button and the bell. It'll keep you up to date on the latest from Dewey's world. These videos are so fun to make. Thank you so much for coming along. And as always, thanks for watching.